but happy Hanukkah. You know what I'm saying? You gotta say with the in it, okay? I got that from, was that Rugrats? That's how I learned about Hanukkah, through Rugrats. But I haven't seen you guys in a few days. So, hey Chris, how you doing, love? A little, catch up for the catch up. On the 13th, Juno entered the Sagittarius constellation. Juno is all about Hera, what we need in a relationship to want to stay in it, and we love it here. Hey Tess, thank you for the rose. Thank you guys for the gifts and hearts. Make sure you share. Let people know we in here and we pre-gaming for the solstice, the new year, Rosh Chodesh, because we're starting a new Hebrew month this weekend too. It's a great time here. We're gonna set our intentions. Woo woo. So, yeah, on the 13th, that was 1 and 3, means taking action on your emotions. 4, 7. So that was the day of 7. That's when Juno entered the Sagittarius constellation, which is cool because 7 is ruled by Libra energy, which is associated with interpersonal relationships, bonds, and contracts, And so Juno is kind of like that energy. It's Hera. Hera did everything but leave Zeus. Juno did everything but leave Jupiter. So it's like, what is it that you need in a relationship, a bond, to want to act that crazy, to stay in it, to maintain it, all that fun stuff. All right. And it's international constellation. So becoming wise about, your relationships, your bonds, and what you need in them. Look back on your previous relationships and be like, this is how I carried on in these relationships. These were the relationships I liked the most. I wish I would have treated these relationships different. Just like kind of like, Sankofa vibes on yourself and your previous relationships and how you behave. Some of you a little crazy, ashamed, but that's okay. Sagittarius is all about joy. All right. On the 14th, we had our Virgo moon. We love it here. Mercury was going through the Scorpio stars of Graphius and Teshuba, which was pretty interesting because Mercury rules over the throat chakra as a collective. This is our space of communication, expression, harvesting, our moral and integral code, how we organize ourselves. And going through these harsh stars that are ruled by Saturn and Mars brings a lot of challenges that, invoke the solar plexus chakra, trigger your energy, how you want to utilize that energy, how you want to take action and things like that. Also, it could also bring you to anger, having, angry energy exchanges in conversation, what I'm saying, and your schedule and things like that. What's up, Vinny? Hey, country kid. And so, having that awareness of that. The moon and Spica were also in alignment on the 14th as well. Now we're in a day of 8, the day of transformations. Hi, Howard, building and destroying. Spica is the star of harvest. So having a third eye on harvest and then having actual Mercury, the planet of communication and harvesting, manifesting things into your space, going to Scorpio's energy. The 14th was an awesome day to manifest things in your space. So moving on to the 15th, we have, the 15th was actually the first day of Hanukkah. All right. The first day of Hanukkah, this was also the first biblical murder. This is when Cain killed Abel in the Bible. Mishkan was also finished, which was like the mobile temple that, he was ordered, he ordered the people to make. And the Maccabees liberated the Holy Temple in Jerusalem on this day too. In the Hebrew calendar, this first day of Hanukkah is actually the 25th of Kislev, and we're actually in the year 5786. Their year goes by creation, the creation of Adam and Eve. And so that's the year we're in until September 11th. Ethiopia also has a new year of September 11th as well. Now, according to Ethiopians, we're in the year 2018 because the way their calendar sets up, it has us in this, it has Jesus being born about like 8 years before, 8 years after the Gregorian calendar or the Julian calendar that we use today. All right. So, you guys can keep those mathematics in mind. It depends on what kind of, some of you guys like to, correlate yourself or tether yourself to certain cultures and periods of time. So when you're doing that, those are the numbers that I would advise you guys using when it comes to the year. All right, so on the 25th of Kislev, which is the first day of Hanukkah, the sun actually enters Sagittarius constellation. So we've been in Sagittarius zodiac this whole time, mindset on expansion and abundance and philanthropy and philosophy and, our wisdom, our chokma and chesed, because both those energies are ruled by that Jupiter energy, that expansion, and then the Mayat laws, my Mayat in the background, all those different things. So now we are entering the constellation. So now we're entering the events, the happenings, what's going on in the Sagittarius. So hopefully your actions are starting to line up with your thoughts and the things that, you were thinking, I want to do this and I want to give back this way and I'm planning this and blah, 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 blah. Now see those events start unfolding and start happening in your space right now, right? And we love it here. So then on the 16th, now we're on the second day of Hanukkah. On this day, we kindle 3 lights because in the Hebrew calendar, the next day actually starts in evening. So you have the first evening, then you have the first day, and then you have the second day. So by the second day of Hanukkah, you should have 3 lights on your menorah lit. Sup, Queen? Love and light. Yay, peace. Peace and love, peace and prosperity, all that fun stuff. On the 16th, which is the 26th of Kislev, Mars entered the Capricorn zodiac. So now we have the solar plexus chakra of the collective entering the space of challenges. But these challenges are here to strengthen you. Like say, you set your intentions, right? I want to do this. I want to do that. We had Mercury all up in the Scorpius energy. Transformations was happening. Woo, woo, wah, right? So now our solar plexus chakra as a collective is like, all right, bet. There are certain challenges. There's a certain level of understanding because Capricorn rules over understanding, that Vina energy, that 3. It's a certain level of understanding which brings the restrictions, the challenges, the limitations, the laws of physics, the laws of metaphysics, all these different things that we have to go through with our energy. You have to have a certain discipline about you. Okay, you want to do those things? All right, you got to wake up a certain time in the morning, or you have to go to bed a certain time at night, or you have to have this kind of routine. Or I'm even following somebody on Instagram that was like, some of you guys aren't getting the things that y'all want because you're not even in the body you're supposed to have to receive it. Like you don't have the proper diet in your body. You don't have the proper workout routine or regimen in your body, different things like that. So, just certain things. And then in your mindset, are you reading? What's going on in your schedule? So allow Mars and Capricorn to provide you the challenges that you need towards your solar plexus chakra. Also figuring out where your personal Mars is, you know what I'm saying? It's real important right now, especially in the middle of the winter time. Some of you guys flourish around this time. Because your Mars might be in a winter energy. So you're like, yeah, I love it here. I'm here for the winter energy. My Mars is in Sagittarius, or my Mars is in Capricorn, or my Mars is in Aquarius, all this wintertime energy. But some of you guys, your Mars is in Leo or Virgo or Cancer, more so in the spring, summertime placements. So during this period of time, your solar plexus chakra might feel very suppressed. You can't move it the way you want to. You know what I'm saying? You can't go about it the way you want to. This is where we get the confusion with seasonal depression and things of that nature. So you want to be mindful of stuff like that. Where is my solar plexus chakra versus the solar plexus chakra of the collective? How has that affected me, this, that, and third? Now, with it in the cardinal earth energy, yes, it's moving a whole lot slower. So if your Mars is in the air like mine, my Mars is in Gemini. So Mars in Gemini, Aquarius, or Libra, you guys might be feeling a sense of suppression because you got to go through these restrictions of Capricorn. You can't just be out and about like air. You ever try to put air in your arms and hold on to it? You can't do that. But that's what Capricorn is trying to hold to do. You know what I'm saying? When you make air cold, you kind of slow it down. You know what I'm saying? Same thing with air and water. Water is a whole lot fast. Everything is a whole lot faster than Earth. If your Mars is not in Earth sign, you are definitely feeling the slowdown of Mars being in Capricorn. Okay. Now, if your Mars is in a cardinal space, especially if it's not in the Earth sign, you're definitely feeling it. But it's more complementary if you know how to utilize that earth in alignment with your cardinal water, your cardinal air, your cardinal fire. Probably not cardinal fire or cardinal air, but cardinal water definitely. Cancer and Capricorn energy, they're in opposition. They get along a little bit better than the squares of what's the squares? What's the cardinal air? Libra and Aries. They get along a little bit better. But you know, if you know how to work a 90-degree angle, like I told y'all, 9 is a sense of giving birth, completion, and wholeness. So you gotta learn how to work the 90-degree angles to your liking in the numerology realm. All right. The true meaning of life is such an involved, you know, as energy, you know, energetic beings first. I wouldn't say there's much of a purpose. I think that if we just learn how to be and how to exist, we would be doing exactly what we're supposed to be doing. I don't think there's like a true meaning or anything. You know, we make that stuff up because we're very complicated beings and we have to feel like there's a purpose and there's a meaning and we're on a voyage and we're on a conquest and all that stuff. But I truly, like, when you get down to it and you take all that extra adventure time stuff off the table, we really should just be being. You know what I'm saying? We just make up stuff to do because we get bored, and that's fun. That's adventurous. Curiosity, woo-wah. As long as we're keeping our frequencies on high, you know, we keep our, you know, frequency as a unit on high and stuff like that. That helps, you know, the process, you know, our experience here on this plane. But we don't do that. So, you know, So I guess that kind of makes our true purpose here at the moment to raise the frequencies of the collective, because we ain't been doing a good job with it, with all the different things we like to put in our space because we be bored. But, you know, it is what it is. I don't know if I answered your question or not. Also on the 16th, we had the moon in Zupanel-Janubian alignment because we're in like this Libra Scorpius constellation energy. We also had Vesta, which is our asteroid of passion, and Albalda in conjunction. The Monoceratids and the Geminids. These are meteor showers reach the end of activity. December time is a big time for meteor showers, okay? The Ursids from Ursa Minor constellation also began. Their max activity is actually on the 23rd, and they move at 10 an hour. Yeah, that was the biggest things on the 16th. Now when we get to the 17th, now we're on the 27th of Kislev. The sun and Juno were like on top of each other at 25 degrees Sagittarius. So we talked about Juno a bit, about how Juno is, you know, all about what you need in a bond, a relationship to want to stay in and work on it and be a little obsessive with it too, the way, you know, Juno and Hera was, right? And the sun is putting it in our experiences. Now you're either experiencing it from somebody else being obsessive towards you, like, damn, I was acting like that to such and such once upon a time. Now this person acting like that to me, like this crazy. Or you get another opportunity to be the obsessive person, and you're like, dang, I've been here before. You're familiar. I know what to do this time. So different things like that. Hopefully, you know, everybody's safe. You know, I ain't out here doing nothing too crazy. But just know on the 17th, the sun and Juno were in alignment in Sagittarius in that realm, all about the pleasure-seeking energy when it comes to those relationships and interconnections. Now we have the moon going through those Scorpius stars, Scorpius constellations, creating transformations in our home and family and our emotions and all that stuff like that. You don't think we are put here for a reason, or I think we just make up reasons. We make up reasons. I don't think that there's like an exact, you know, reason. We exist. We exist because we exist, and that's existence. But we just make up shit because we get bored. Is the stuff that we make up incorrect? No, because of the power of our mindset. When your mindset believes something, and when you have a collective mindset believing something, that's what makes it true. That's essentially what truth is. If you get enough people to believe this one thing, it's true. I don't know if you guys ever watched like the film Vantage Point. Even having like 5 or 6 different people watch the same event, you're going to get different truths. No, everybody's telling the truth, but everybody's telling the truth from their own point of view, from how to tell the story. Well, we got like 3-4 different Bible books that's describing the same story in their own different ways. You know what I'm saying? You got the book of Enoch in the Bible. You know, it's like and they're both true. You know, they're both true at the same time. You know, these are different points of view. So yeah, we make up stuff, and everybody has their own made up reason for why they're here, and nobody's incorrect for their reason for why they're here, because that's their existence that they made up. You know what I'm saying? They exist to exist. You know, why do I think I'm here? Or why do you think you're here? You're trying to figure out why you think you're here? Or, because it's okay to just exist. Like, that's good enough. Honestly, that's great enough. You ain't got to complicate the situation. I think people that get so caught up on the fact that they can't complicate their lives. Like, bro, you got a maid. You just here. But some people are really like flowing into this, like, you know, and hey, live your delusions, live your illusions. Like that, we all got a Pisces placement. You know what I'm saying? We all have this ability to design. We all have this inner God, and God is about love and creativity, creation. Everything starts with a thought. So everybody has this ability to do that. Again, whether you want to create a reason to be here or you don't have a reason to be here, you're just existing. Both sides, in my point of view, are correct. They're absolutely correct. I am here to worship something. Well, do that. Do that. Hopefully it's yourself. Jesus loves you. That's what's up. I love Jesus too. Thank you, love girl. All right, so on the 17th, which is the 27th of Kislev, at that point, 4 lights should be kindled on your menorah. Yeah, cool. This is also the day that the flood of 40 days and nights end with Noah on the ark, which lasted about a year, right? And that happened in the year 1656 from creation, which is also considered 2105 BC. All right, hi Heather. And then on the 18th of December, which is the 28th of Kislev, this is the 4th day of Hanukkah. At this point, you should have 5 lights on your menorah, which is today right now. The sun done went down, so it's a new day. Happy new day, y'all. And so, yeah, you should have 5 lights on your menorah at this point for those of you guys who are celebrating Hanukkah. Happy Hanukkah. All right. So on this day, we start the day off with a 3% waning crescent moon. Our moon is tropically in Sagittarius, mindset on your home and family, all about expansion and abundance and joy and prosperity, philanthropy, how we gonna give back. I just got it all together and everything's just big and I just feel it and oh my gosh. And the events of things, the events of our home and family is undergoing transformations. It's in the Scorpius constellation, so it's undergoing those transformations. They're supposed to be empowering. They also can be very revealing some secrets, which can also be a little messy. So be mindful of that too. The sunrise today will be 7:03 a.m. Sunset at 4:51 p.m. The sun is at 26 degrees Sagittarius zodiac. So while, you know, our moon, because we're getting ready for the new moon, and we know the new moon is going to be in Sagittarius, right? Y'all know that, right? Okay, cool. So, so while our mindset is on, you know, our mindset and our heart set are both on that space of expansion and abundance and philanthropy and how we're going to give back and, you know, joy and pleasure seeking and your sensual self. Be mindful of overeating, over drinking, you know, over sensual energy, over sexualizing. A lot of people, like, honestly, you know, to help, you know, find some level of discipline to your sacral chakra is actually like a really good time to fast. It's actually a really good time to, you know, discipline your sacral chakra, right? So you might want to work on that. Up to you. And like I said, the sun had entered the Sagittarius constellation on the 15th. All right, so 3 days ago. So we are, you know, currently at, that doesn't even sound right. No, I lied. No, I didn't lie. Because if the sun in Juno was at 24, yeah. The sun is in Sagittarius constellation as well now. So now we have the sun in Sagittarius zodiac and constellation. So now we have the mindset and the events on that expansion, abundance, that joy. The moon in Aries, so now we're in that Jupiter Mars star in the Scorpius constellation. So we move away from the Saturn star that gives a lot of challenges and restrictions and limitations, and we move to that more expansion and abundance and joy, right? But we still have the Mars, so it's still invoking in that solar plexus chakra, you know, control, triggers, ambition, could even be anger, right? That minimal angle happens at 4:27 a.m. The moon will be 0.8 degrees south-southwest, conjunction at 4:58 a.m. The moon will be 0.8 degrees south. The conjunction, well, that was the minimal angle. The conjunction will be at 8:35 a.m. And no, it's not visible. The moon in Graphius will also be in conjunction today at 8:12 p.m. and the moon in Dashuba will be in conjunction at 6:20 p.m. So you'll see the moon going through all the Scorpius stars. The moon and Mercury will also be in conjunction because Mercury is also in the Scorpius constellation, right? So you kind of have like this, I wouldn't even say triangles type situation, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so it's like a pentagram, if you will, between the moon, the Scorpius stars, and Mercury. When the moon and Mercury come together, you have yourself communicating in alignment with your third eye. That's happening at 4:31 a.m. I don't know if I said the time already. But harvesting with your intuition, harvesting with your emotions, say your things that you desire with all that mind and all that heart, to make it so. The AM visibility of the Scorpius constellation also begins today for my sky watchers out there, those of you guys that have the telescope and like to do your thing. The North Pole of the moon is also tipped into view at 11:39 a.m. Neptune is also at its best visibility of the year because it is. 31 Atlas is also the smallest distance to the Earth. This is a comet. Comets have like the ancient material throughout like the galaxies and stuff like that. So it being so close to Earth, it would be a good time to ground. But as I was talking to somebody earlier, like there's a little frosty, you know what I'm saying? But you can go outside and try to intentionally feel the vibrations, do a little astral projection or astral meditation session, to get whatever energy you would like from this comet, because it'll be so close tonight at 10:02 p.m. There will be an evening visibility, which will be pretty cool for my sky watchers, my telescopers out there. So that's on the 18th. Now we get into Friday, because I'm giving you guys the whole weekend pregame. All right. So Friday, we're now at a 1% waning crescent moon. The waning crescent is all about cleansing the intangible things out of our space, our mindset, our behavior, how we do things, our moral and integral code, what we think is okay and not okay to do, all the different stuff like that. So the moon is in Sagittarius zodiac, and it's still in the Scorpius constellation. So while our home and family and all that is still on the mindset of expansion and joy, the experiences of our home and family, our maternal energy is still undergoing the transformations, truths coming out, empowerment happening here, all those things like that. So peace to you guys in your homes, in your families, and empowerment and all that fun stuff like that. Oh, also to remind you, the 19th is also the 29th of Kislev. So now we're on the 5th day of Hanukkah. At this point, you should have 6 lights on your menorah. Sunrise at 7:04 a.m., sunset at 4:51 p.m. We'll be in Sagittarius zodiac and constellation still with the energy, all up in our sacral chakra with the vibes. The moon and Venus will be at minimal angle at 6:13 a.m. The moon will be 5.5 degrees south-southwest. Conjunction at 10:17 a.m. The moon will be 5.7 degrees south. And no, this will not be visible because we're like in a new moon phase. And it seems like all the planets are undergoing their new moon, new Venus, new Mercury. Everybody's going through their new phase at this moment. So we're kind of getting we are getting, a new cycle with these planets right now. All right. So keep that in mind as well. The moon bringing that intuition, home and family, emotional, nurturing energy, us at our comfort zone, in our safe spaces, is also going to Venus. So designing your safe space, helping to design safe spaces for others, what we value, what we prioritize in these safe spaces, and our emotional connections with ourselves and with other people. All of that is, all to come to the forefront. What do you want to do with that? What kind of transformations do you want to make there, right? Mercury and Aries will also be at minimal angle at 8:16 a.m. Mercury will be 5.5 degrees north-northwest. So, like I said, Aries is the nicer star in the Scorpius constellation, removing some of that Saturn energy and bringing on Jupiter. So you'll see your Mercury-ruled individuals or your Mercury-ruled planets start to lighten up a little bit as we start to get towards the end of the Scorpius constellation. Peace to my Mercurians, because I know y'all been getting it. I've been getting it too. I got a lot of Virgo and Gemini placements, and a lot of people have been talking to me lately the way you guys are talking to me, like on Instagram. I mean, not Instagram. What is this? YouTube. The way y'all talking to me on YouTube, and that's okay. I'm used to it at this point. Y'all good. And so we also have a comet 240p. That's at 4:51 p.m. is the smallest distance to the sun. So again, we have another comet. But this one, instead of it being so close to Earth, now it's close to the sun. So the sun is all about the spotlight, the appearance. This is the light that's upon the stage of Earth. You know what I'm saying? So having that comet up there, now it's putting ancient material into the spotlight. So now, whatever experiences the sun wants you to have, deja vu comes into play here, meeting familiar energies, familiar people, familiar situations, maybe from a dream world, maybe from past life, stuff like that. You can expect that over the weekend as well. It's just a very magical time with the comets and the meteor showers and the celestial body alignments. It's creating a very magical, electromagnetic field to manifest and harvest the things that you want in your space, and to provide some sense of transformations in your space. Because again, while we're dealing with the Sagittarius energy, which is all about expansion and abundance and wisdom from the oracles, we're also still dealing with the Scorpius energy of transformations, which is pretty cool. The max south declination of the moon is also at 5:05 p.m. So this will be a very close new moon. The new moon will be at 7:44 p.m. This is when the moon is between the sun and the earth, and of course it is not visible. The Leonis minoris will also reach max activity they move about 5 an hour from the Little Lion constellation, the Leo Minor constellation for my sky watchers. So if you stare at that constellation for a little bit, you'll find one. Okay. And then on the 20th, now we're on Saturday, the Sabbath. Okay, this is the 30th of Kislev, right? This is also considered Rosh Chodesh Day 1. So on the last day of a month, and on the first day of the next month, you have Rosh Chodesh, is it Rosh Chodesh? I think it is. Which, you do certain prayers to end the month off and begin a new month, right? So we're ending the month of Kislev on a Sabbath day, which makes it even more special, because this is also the last day of the week. So it's the last day of the week, and then it's the last day of the month, and then it's also Hanukkah. So you get to read from 3 scrolls on this day in the day of prayers, which is very fun. I'll also be aligning with you guys on this day to do a netter / Sephiroth cleansing and manifestation session. So if you guys want to align with me there, that will be a more private group, so we don't have all this stuff going on in the chat. But if you guys want the link, you guys are more than welcome to join me to learn how to cleanse and manifest through the process of the Sephiroths and netterus. And so let's get back into this. Sunrise at 7:04 a.m., sunset at 4:51 p.m. Again, we are in Sagittarius, both in the tropical and the constellation realm, all up in our sacral chakra and our experiences, right? The moon and Mars will be at minimal angle at 4:21 a.m. The moon will be 4.2 degrees south. Conjunction at 5 a.m. The moon will be 4.2 degrees south. So now we done had the moon go through the throat chakra, down to the heart chakra, and now it's going down to the solar plexus chakra. So it seems like the moon is, going down through the chakra, and it's giving us our intuition, our level of awareness to go down. This is a perfect time to do cleansing and awareness of your Sephiroths and netterus as your intuitive energy, your emotional energy. The cleansing waters of your Moja is washing down between, your Eshwa, your Oshun, and now your Ogun. Okay. Also, be wary of being overly sensitive around this time. Mars and the moon don't totally necessarily get along, because the moon is all about water and going inward and being inside of the crabby shell, where Mars is more outward, energetic, taking action. Fire, Aries energy, cardinal fire area, it's about that Wands card. So, be aware of your fire and your water friends, okay? Because they're dealing with this push and pull, this tug with their placements. And again, like I said, pay attention to where your Mars is located. It's definitely being affected by this Moon and Mars alignment in that Sagittarius constellation. Betelgeuse will also be at opposition with the sun. If you guys don't know, Betelgeuse is the star in the Orion constellation. It's on the shoulder, a nice bright orange star on the shoulder. It will be in opposition with the sun at 6:36 a.m. Best visibility of the year, and then you guys start seeing a little bit more throughout the year. But the moon in Cos Borealis will also be at minimum angle at 10:07 a.m. The moon will be 3.2 degrees south, conjunction at 10:25 a.m. with a 3.2 degrees south separation. And of course, because we're still in the new moon phase, it will not be visible. All right. Cos Borealis is a star in the Sagittarius constellation. It's located at the back of the Archer head. So this is bringing on heavy awareness, especially of the sacral chakra. I think it's just a great time to manifest. I would definitely do some type of water ritual. Take a bath. Moon water would be really cool here. Doing some type of blessed situation. All those things like that. I would definitely look into that. Lilith also enters the Sagittarius zodiac during space of time. You know, Black Moon Lilith is like, Black Moon Lilith is our inner rebellion, our inner revolutionary energy. This is us as our primordial selves, okay? And now it's in that space of like, what brings you joy, you know? Where's your sensual and sexual self? You know, my Lilith is actually in Sagittarius, so I'm having my Lilith return, and we love it here. Just come to the realization of what you want, what you like. Traveling is also big here. You know, international relations or experiences is also another one here. Being tapped into that choke mind chesed, both energies ruled by Jupiter. That's also, you know, in alignment with Sagittarius. So we're definitely coming to our primordial self with our joy, you know. Venus also enters the Sagittarius constellation. So this whole time we have Venus sitting in the Sagittarius zodiac. So our mindset on our heart chakra was all about, you know, what do we design in our space? You know, what feels good here on not just on a material level, because I know sometimes we get real caught up on the material level on the things that's outside of ourselves, but what also is going on inside, you know what I'm saying? On our emotional level, you know, what we value, what we prioritize, what makes us feel good, things of that nature. And so aligning our heart chakra with our sacral chakra is definitely key here. Venus rules over the seven Netter or Sephiroth of Netzach, the celestial designer, while Sagittarius is more so the Chokmah, the wisdom, the energy of expansion, right? And then we talked about Rosh Chodesh Day 1. So that's what's going on the Sabbath, okay? Then we get to Sunday. By then, we should be done our workshop together by Sunday. And I just really think that's going to be a really divine alignment in that space and time. So, yeah. Okay. I see where I'm going with this. On the 21st, we start the day with a 1% waxing crescent moon. Now we're in that moon of building. And now we're building, you know, on our Capricorn and our thought process, which is our root chakra, our space of challenges and restrictions and things of that nature when it comes to our home and family, our intuition, our third eye energy. Also in Sagittarius constellation. So have joy in your experience while you're dealing with the disciplines that need to be happening. Sunrise is still in Sagittarius overall. The moon in Albaldo will be in conjunction at 4:31 a.m. The moon will be 6 degrees south. The winter solstice is at 9:04 a.m. This is when the sun reaches the lowest declination. This will be the shortest day of the year at 9 hours and 47 minutes. So after this space and time, we'll start having the sun be in waxing as well with the moon. This whole time it was in waning and it was going, you know, down the hemisphere line. And so now it'll be coming back up and you'll be getting more sunlight and you'll start to see the difference. Also, we have entered the first day of Tevet on the Jewish calendar. This is also the 8th day. Well, 5th day, 6th day. So this is the 7th day of Hanukkah. So you should have 8 lights on your menorah at this point. In your calendar. I mean, in your calendar, on your menorah. I'm sorry. on your menorah. So, the month of Tevet and the sign of Capricorn are both ruled by Saturn, and Saturn provides the law enforcement in the cosmos, giving us each exactly what we deserve. This is the reason that Saturn has gotten such a bad rep amongst astrologers. The Book of Formation, written by Abraham the Patriarch more than 4,000 years ago, reveals that Saturn is responsible for distractions, diseases, death, jails, poverty, disgrace, shame, and many other obstacles that plague our lives. Capricorn is the earth sign with a strong connection to the material world, and people born in this month have a strong need for financial security. They believe only in what their five senses convey and have trouble seeing beyond that apparent. Capricorn represents the right column of the earth signs, which signifies that its internal energy is water. This translates into Capricorn's helpful and caring character. Capricorns are family oriented and have strong ties to the home. They are great caretakers who can often lack faith in the light force because they are easily controlled by physical forces. They fear what tomorrow might bring and a potential lack of funds for survival. And these fears keep many Capricorns from becoming more spiritual. Those born in Tevet are traditionally reliable, responsible, caring, thrifty, and punctual. After all, time is money. They make excellent business people, accountants, engineers, attorneys, and in any disciplinary position from crossing guard to drill sergeant. According to the Book of Formation, the Ayin and the Bet are the Hebrew letters controlling this month. The letter Ayin created Capricorn and the letter Bet created Saturn. The combination of Ayin and Bet are the level of Chokmah when the Yud He Vav He, the Tetragrammaton is spelled out. And Capricorns do have this wisdom because the original desire of Saturn is to reach the light. Capricorn is one of the 3 hardest months of the year, but thanks to the holiday of Hanukkah, which extends itself to the first 2 days of Tevet, we do receive the injection of light force that can sustain us through the month. So that's fun. So yeah, by Sunday we'll be in the month of Tevet. And the evening visibility of the moon will begin. It will be official. We have officially entered the last few days of the lunar cycle and entering the the midpoint lunar cycle before we get to Ramadan. So exciting. I'm so excited to enter the next lunar year because we're about to enter the year of the horse, and I'm a horse and we love it here. Esther was also made queen historically on 362 BC on the first day of Tevet as well, for those of you guys who like little fun Bible history facts. So on December 22nd, that's the second day of Tevet, and we're going to end here because now we're on Monday, the moon day. And we started the day off with a 5% waxing crescent moon rising at 8:28 a.m. and setting at 5:57 p.m. That's the moon, right? And the moon will be in Capricorn, so we'll be in that energy of challenges, putting, you setting your intuition, your emotions in that energy of Tevet, right? The sun will also be starting off at 0 degrees Capricorn as well. So now you have the sun, the thoughts of the sun also in alignment with Tevet and what's going on here. However, we'll still be in the Sagittarius constellation. We'll still be in the constellation of Shabbat, y'all. Not Shabbat. I don't want to lie to you. Kislev. Shabbat is after Tevet. So, yeah. The moon and Pluto will be in conjunction on this day of the 22nd. Pluto brings transformations, revelations, telling truths. Pluto is also associated with Oya energy, so this is big on the mother energy. Those Oya waters of the storms and the extremities and a little bit of the dramatics, right? Because high highs make low lows on that figure 8, right? And so with the moon is there, it's going to be all up in your emotions, and both of these energies what are they over there in Capricorn constellation? So they're over there in the root chakra of things. Your emotional connectivity should be undergoing some sense of empowering transformation to some things sitting in your root chakra on this day. This is day of 22, so this is the master architect on your chesed, on your internal law, your internal maya, your internal blueprint, right? So in this space, do some shadow work finish up some shadow work on disconnecting your emotional connection to some challenges you may have had, some different things you may have, experienced or undergone. The best visibility of Earthshine on the moon is at the end of dusk. The Coma Berenices reach the end of their activity, and that's a meteor shower. Ursids reach the end of their activity, and they move about 10 an hour. And then we talked about the sun officially entering the Capricorn zodiac. And we love it here, right? So I'm in it there. On Friday, I will be returning to do the new moon to new moon planetary forecast. So I'll give you guys all the goods up until the next new moon around January 16th, 17th. We do have some major shifts going on, especially with Neptune entering Aries energy, and I want to get into that real heavy with y'all. I also have a 2026 planetary forecast coming up. I'll be doing with you guys next week to talk about, the planets, the numbers, even the different new years throughout, the 2026 Gregorian calendar, because not everybody's New Year's is in January. We do have the Lunar New Year, which is the first new moon after the solstice, which will be later on. And then we do have the new year of the Ethiopian calendar and the Hebrew calendar, which is around September 11th, and some other things in between. But we're going to get into all of that, the calendar, the numerology, the astrology, all that fun stuff next week. I don't know the day yet. Give me a second. I gotta kumbaya. I gotta focus on it. All right. But so far, we do have some really awesome things happening in the stars for us this weekend. I hope you guys do enjoy. I do have the planet set up for the solstice. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you guys, I'm trying to think, what do I want to do? Because, I usually do the Chaldean clock order for the next day, but we've been talking about the weekend more than anything. I can give you guys tomorrow real quick though. Y'all want the Chaldean order for tomorrow? As far as tomorrow goes, well, today is Thursday, so the first hour is Jupiter. Jupiter is 12 a.m., 7 a.m., 2 p.m., and 9 p.m. Jupiter is all about joy and abundance and expansion, and we have Jupiter sitting over there in the Cancer zodiac Gemini constellation. And so the mindset is on, home and family expansion and abundance and philanthropy to people's homes and families, especially maternal energy, long-term planning in the space as well. And then Jupiter is in Gemini constellation, so that expansion and abundance is going towards community, communication, opportunities. The whole point there is to learn how to be flexible because anything can happen. Things like that. Then after Jupiter, we have the hours of Mars, which is 1 a.m., 8 a.m., 3 p.m., and 10 p.m. Mars deals with the solar plexus chakra, our energy, how we exert our energy. Usually when I think of Mars, I think about doing something, I think of doing some type of physical activity, something to get your blood pumping, because Mars rules over blood flow, gut health. You might want to break fast. You might want to start fasting at that hour, doing dragon breaths through your gut, whatever it is you want to do, is Mars energy rules over that. And so Mars is in Capricorn. It is in the 6th house right now, so it does go to health, wellness, daily routine at this moment. So all the different things that I gave just now, I would advise, putting some type of activity into your daily routine with that. Then we have the hours of the sun, which is 2 a.m., 9 a.m., 4 p.m., and 11 p.m. And the sun is about vitality, your experiences, how you exert yourself. All right. And we have the sun in Sagittarius in the 6th house as well. And so it's on that philanthropy, that expansion, utilizing your wisdom from the Oracle of Sages, being in your sacral chakra and your everyday experiences. If you're not having fun, if you're not enjoying, what are we doing? All right. Venus hours are 3 a.m., 10 a.m., 5 p.m., and 12 p.m. Venus is all about the heart chakra, our Oshun energy, our balance between the mental, material and emotional realm, what we have versus, what we desire, what we value. Different facets of love is here too. Our love for the material and our love for people. Venus is over there in Sagittarius, still in the Capricorn constellation as well. And Venus again, the mindset is on philanthropy. I want to give back. I want to be enjoyed. Like, this is the time for joy. Joy. Fa la 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 la. We're happy. Ho ho ho. Like, we out here. Like, all these Sagittarius experiences put us in our sacral chakra real heavy. All right. And then it's just, still creating transformation. And this is where the magic comes from, because while we're in the tropical of Sagittarius and we're in this joy and we're paying attention to our sacral chakra and our sensual self and that wisdom and that oracle and that sage energy, what's happening in the constellations, our events are undergoing transformations in alignment to that joy. So it's I definitely see why it's a hard time for a lot of people, because it is a test, and for every energy there's equal opposite energy. And if you're a very powerful person, especially in your sacral chakra, it's going to be a lot of energy trying to pull you out of that, being in that joy. That's where a lot of that heavy depression, and people get very violent around this time of year towards themselves and towards others. And it's because they're undergoing like a heavy spiritual warfare, and they don't fully realize the tools that they have and the tools that's in that equal opposite energy. And as a collective, it's a lot in alignment with that Sagittarius, Scorpius energy. How well you are in that sacral chakra. Shouts to Jasmine for doing the womb healing and, doing a lot of things that helps people become aware of their sacral chakra and how balanced their sacral chakra is. If you guys are not following her already, I really suggest y'all do so, because like the things that she's doing right now is so in alignment, because as you have your sacral chakra alignment in this space and time, it definitely affects the transformations in your space. All right. Empowering transformations at that, and also revealing truths about some people. There's a lot of people that don't want to see you enjoy. It's a lot of people that don't want to see you embrace your sensual self, the things that you like to experience through your senses. And you'll notice that when you actually take that mask off of your sacral chakra and you allow that sacral chakra to be free, once you start healing that root chakra and you loosen up some of those restrictions and disciplines and orders that you may have gotten from abuse or letting people tell you what to do. Some of y'all had, were heavy Bible thumpers coming from, that heavy religious, spiritual warfare. Some of y'all just round like really hard on people that like teach you like work, or be a hermit or whatever, and you don't know too much about what you enjoy to do. You know what I'm saying? You don't know too much about what makes you happy. You don't know too much about your womb and the proper way to reproduce things in your space. Not your womb is not just about creating people. You also create ideas here. You also create art here. You know what I'm saying? You do a lot of things here with your sacral chakra, okay? And so you'll notice that when you are in that sacral chakra space, it'll piss a lot of people off who are not in alignment with their sacral chakra, or they have an overactive solar plexus chakra. You know what I'm saying? And trust, I've been going through it all week long. I've been making a lot of people's souls itch, and I don't care. I don't care at all. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Mercury's hours are 4 a.m., 11 a.m., and 6 p.m. Mercury is all about communication, manifesting, harvesting, working on your daily routines, scheduling yourself, your moral and integral code. How are you being of service? All those things like that. This is when you get into the details of like your order of things, And right now Mercury is in Sagittarius zodiac, so harvesting, speaking into existence the things of the sacral chakra while still being in Scorpius constellation. So we're still, you're speaking into existence, and guess what? Transformations are happening thereafter. So kudos to y'all, empowering transformations that day. Then we have the moon's hours, 5 a.m., 12 p.m., and then 7 p.m. The moon's hours, moon is about home and family, maternal energy. I do, water exercises during these periods of time. If I were, if it's during the hours that I'm awake. Having a moon journal, paying attention to your personal moon in alignment with the fact that the moon is over there in Sagittarius. It's in Sagittarius zodiac and constellation right now, so it's really like in the sacral chakra right now. So you can align that to your personal, because it is in a fire. It's an immutable fire. Like I give you an example. I'm a Virgo moon. I'm not. I have a Virgo moon. Excuse my affirmation. I have a Virgo moon. And so, you know, Virgo moon is a mutable earth with this mutable fire. So in the mutable realm, you know, they are in a space of supporting one another. Well, actually, they're square each other. They're square each other. But you know, I like 90-degree angles. I'm here for the nines. I know how to give birth on nines. So 90-degree angles do not bother me. Just learn how to have joy in a daily routine, a daily schedule. I definitely know how to find joy in the things that I do on a regular basis. It's nothing. It's nothing to me. Okay. But you figure out how that works for you in your space. You know, some of you guys that got fire moons already, this fire could just add to your fire. And it, you know, now you on fire. I don't know. You the one that nobody want to invite to the family functions. Especially if you're moon and air, definitely don't want to invite your ass to the family functions. You over there telling everybody business, nasty attitude. Different things like that. Like you get into the elements and how the elements interact with one another, and then also get into the modalities of the elements. Help you get into the detail of what zodiac is if you're not into each zodiac. Like, I don't know what each zodiac is about. Okay, well, what's the element? All right, what's the temperament of that element? You know what I'm saying? And then what's the modality of that element? Is it cardinal? Is it mutable? Is it fixed? You know, and that's, you know, those are different ways you can, you know, give yourself generalizations. All right. Then last but certainly not least, we have Saturn's hours being 6 a.m., 1 p.m., and 8 p.m. Saturn deals with our understanding, the challenges, the restrictions, the limitations that one has to undergo in order to manifest the things that they want in their space. Saturn is on the threes. This is Bina energy. You know, 3 is, of course, creation. But in order to create, we have to go through the laws of physics, go through the laws of metaphysics, go through nature laws, go through man laws. Is it feasible for this to be created? And what has to happen for it to be created in this space and time? You know, and we give, Saturn gets a bad rep about, you know, doing what it does, but we give thanks to Saturn. You know, one of the things that Raul Nafir says, one of the examples that he gives that I really appreciate is like, you know, we give thanks because it's like having a train, you know, traveling without being on the train tracks. You know what I'm saying? That's chaos. And it's not safe. I want my train on the train tracks. You know what I'm saying? I want to drive my car on the lanes. You know what I'm saying? I want everybody in their lane. This is the safest thing to do. But without that being without those restrictions and limitations that say, hey, 2 cars can't be in the same place at the same time. Y'all can't be driving y'all cars on top of each other and all this stuff like that. Without those things, it's chaos. You know what I'm saying? So we need that order. We need those restrictions. We need those challenges to bring the strength, right? And we give thanks to Saturn for doing so. Even Saturn worshippers get a bad rep. Like, oh my God, Saturnalia and Saturn the Sabbath, and they wear the squares on their head, and oh my God, blah, 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 blah. Okay. Hey, it's your reality. You think how you want to think. Ooh, wow. All right. So that's how the order will be tomorrow. And honestly, because I'll be back on Friday to do the planetary forecast, I really don't necessarily need to do the solstice hours like I was going to do. Thank you, Moose. But I will say this. The 6th house is busy. The 6th house deals with your daily routine. Let's talk about the houses then. 6th house deals with the daily routine and your moral and integral code. And we got the sun and moon there. So your external and internal self should be in alignment with wanting to focus on what it is that you want to do on a regular basis. You know, what you want to teach, what you want to learn about, you know, starting to bring those things into plans. Mars is also here, so it's also helping you out with your motivation, your ambitions, what gets you going. So if y'all are spending y'all time doing stuff y'all not even interested in, things y'all don't want to know about, things that don't get you going, don't trigger you or whatever, that's not fun. I don't advise it. Your Mars will kind of move against you. You know what I'm saying? So definitely listen to your gut in those spaces of time, you know. When we get into the 5th house, that's the Leo house of creativity and romance. Also, the dramatics being in the spotlight as far as being like a thespian, like, oh my gosh, you're so extra. We do have Mercury and Venus over there, harvesting and, designing in our space, compartmentalizing and organizing and designing in our space, making it all pretty. And they are doing it in a very thespian like manner, in a very romantic, childlike, fashion. So when it comes to your heart chakra, of what you value and what you prioritize, and when it comes to your throat chakra, what you manifest and what you harvest in your space, tap into your inner child with that. Lilith is also over here in the 5th house, so we want to get to your primordial self here as well. So, I would definitely, tap into your inner child, because your inner child is the most connected to your Lilith than anybody, or anybody of yourself. You know what I'm saying? Because throughout time, through all the indoctrination and different experiences you go through, a lot of different energies out here are designed or unintentionally pulling you away from your Lilith. So going back to your inner child energy, go back to your actual natal chart, will bring you there. Now, I tell people all the time, when you guys get into like the transit chart and you want to be current to this space and time, use your progressive chart. Where are your planets at for you now? However, during periods of time, like when dealing with, 5th house placements and stuff like that, go connect to your inner child and say, hey, how is this affecting my actual like native type, the energy I was at when I was here? You know what I'm saying? Who else? We got a whole bunch of. Uranus is over there providing progressive pushes in Taurus still for a couple more degrees. We will be experiencing our transit real soon between Uranus, Neptune, and eventually Saturn. Jupiter also later on this year towards the end will also be transiting. So our external planets will be transiting between this year and early next year, which is very exciting because they don't transit too often. So now they're gonna do their thug dizzle. We love it here. I'm also having not only is it the year of the horse for your girl, I'm also having my Jupiter return. Like, oh my gosh, it's been my birthday. It will be my birthday every day on these hoes, okay? But yeah, Uranus has been in Taurus since March 2019, and that's when the PPP loans happened, and people started reevaluating what they valued and what they prioritized, and their balance between their material and emotional self, their relationships, how they loved each other, what they were designing in our space. That was all Uranus. Uranus was like, yeah, that was all me, and I ain't done yet, because we're talking about the tropical chart here. That means Uranus is still in Taurus and the constellations for a lot longer, because there's a 24-degree difference between the tropical and the Vedic chart. And that's fun. Not really. It is fun. I don't know. I think at some point we should recalibrate the tropical chart. Like there should be some type of alignment, but I guess the fact that there isn't makes it way more fun. I don't know. We love the complicated things. What else? Neptune and Saturn, of course, are still like over there being BFFs over there in the mutable section of Pisces, that space of endings and letting go and beliefs and illusions and all that fun stuff. Saturn is challenging some of our beliefs and illusions that we have been believing in. We've seen that a lot. Like this whole year has been the year of social media revelations, documentary revelations, interview revelations. The media has not been playing with anybody. It has not been letting any foots off of anybody's necks. Okay, so that's a lot of Saturn in that Pisces energy, bringing a lot of illusions to an end, bringing a sense of detachment and challenges in those space so we can reroute ourselves in different thoughts when Saturn enters Aquarius energy, right? Well, now we're going to be more revolutionary in what we're rooted in, okay? And then Neptune kind of like doubles down on the dreams and the illusions. And so it's kind of like for every action, that Saturn brings, Neptune comes with the equal opposite energy. You know what I'm saying? So you want to be mindful of that. And that's where we get a lot with the AI situation, because you have a lot of truth tellers out here. You got a lot of people that are really like working super hard to give you guys the information, but then you have that equal opposite energy of Neptune and Pisces with like AI, or people that just like to do the clickbait thing, or people that make up stuff so they can go viral or be seen and stuff like that. People create scenarios or just lying and stuff like that. And so like that could be like the Neptune equal opposite energy. You know what I'm saying? Like, look away. Don't look at the left hand, right? Pluto is now in the 7th house. So Pluto's creating transformations in Aquarius in the 7th house, but don't forget that Pluto's still in Capricorn constellation, so it's still creating transformations in the root chakra, the understandings, the limitations, authority. Lots of transformations are happening in the spaces of authority, which is really cool. And we see that. We see a lot of that transform. A lot more energy going into the hands of people. People learning their rights. People learning about their options. People taking back their power a lot, and then you see other people giving away their power a lot. That's the transformations that happen. Not everybody's doing the same thing, and that's okay. That's what the transformation is about. Some people are going up to figure eight, some people are going down to figure eight. You know what I mean? So this is the part where I read you guys out. The whole vibe is acceptance. The planet to focus on is Neptune, and we talked about Neptune being in Pisces in the 9th house is at a 29-degree. Neptune actually enters Aries energy, I believe, on the 26th of January. So, 26th or the 19th? Hold on. I got it on a sticky note. I put it on a sticky note. Yeah, the 26th. So 1/26/26. So it's 1/8/1. Oh, that's the day of mastery. Is it a day of mastery? No, 1/8/1 is 1. It's a day of 1. Okay, but we still like that because 1 is Aries. Okay, new beginnings, gang. Okay, so on the day of 1, we'll be dealing with that Neptune transformation, that Neptune step into Aries. So in this last degree, being at a 29-degree is serious business because 2/9 is 11. Now that's mastery, all right? We are mastering this last degree of Pisces. What are some things that y'all need to let go of in y'all dreams? What are some things that y'all need to let go of in your and the illusions that you guys have created for yourself in your reality, some things that you believe in, there's certain things that you guys think about yourselves, or your core beliefs, your core belief programming has put you in spaces where you get in your way a lot. You know what I'm saying? You're getting in your way a lot of the things that you should be doing, that you could be doing, taking risks, doing the things. You got all these different responses. Take a step back and pay attention to those different responses. Some of those things are things that need to be let go of before we enter this Neptune in Aries, where now we're in that, taking that action on these dreams and stuff like that. Like now it's time to take action. But we need to let go of some things. Some things y'all should not be taking action on. Some things got y'all a little crazy. You know what I'm saying? So you want to be mindful of that. But we want you to have acceptance of your Neptune. Wherever your Neptune is, I want you to learn how to accept it and learn how to build with it. This is on a number of 44. 4 is Chesed. Chesed is that celestial blueprint. Now we're in that Mayat, that internal law, discipline energy, right? 4 come together and make 8. So when we put that Chesed together 2 times, when we master it 2 times, it brings transformations into our space. But you have to learn how to accept your Neptune first. If you're not accepting your dreams, if you're not accepting the magic in your space, if you're not accepting your sensitivities to different areas that you're in, you're not paying attention to your nervous system. You're not paying attention to that sixth sense that you have. You're not paying attention to your Akashic records, different things like that. If you're not paying attention to those things, you're not fully accepting your Neptune. And so when Neptune enters Aries, it's going to be very difficult for you to pull that Wands card on those elements. You know what I'm saying? Because you might be holding on to somebody else's beliefs. Instead of me holding on to my own personal Mayat, I'm over here holding on to the 10 commandments in the Bible, knowing some of them commandments is in my way. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is the age of Aquarius, where it's time to be unique and united. We're no longer in that age of Pisces where we all had to be the same kind of fish to, confuse the shark. You know what I'm saying? Like, we don't have to move like that anymore. We're in this new age, and it's still about unity, but it's it's more of a salad than a soup, more like a salad than a melting pot. You feel me? So what piece to the salad are you? Pieces. How you doing? Welcome. Hey. So keep that in mind in your space and time. Learn how to accept your Neptune energy. Then we have the reverse 3 of Wands, basically saying what I was saying. If y'all don't accept, y'all just going to be very hard for y'all to act and create on it when we get into that fire energy. I also got the reverse Empress card, so you're not owning that shit, which is messing you up too. I don't usually read these cards in reverse, but I did pull them up in reverse. But what parts of self to focus on? We want to focus on that imbalanced sacral chakra. You keep giving up your sacral chakra. There's some type of hold that certain people, places, things, situations, events, moral and integral codes that don't belong to you. There are certain laws of Mayat that don't belong to you. And they're making you be of service or some type of servitude to people, places, things, situations. And it's draining of your energy. These things are not your, certain things is just not your responsibility, and you gotta learn how to say, this is not my responsibility. This is not what I'm supposed to be doing. You guys are draining my sacral chakra. You know what I'm saying? I'm sitting here, worried about being judged, but by who? On whose standards? You know what I'm saying? Like, if you are your God, then behave that way. You know what I'm saying? I'm great. How are you? I'm cool. I'm Gucci. They going in on me over here on YouTube though. I'm glad my son not here, cause Jesus Christ. Then I gotta learn how to like block people and delete stuff. I ain't there yet in my internet game. Then I also pulled this card. Also came up in reverse. Again, I don't usually do these cards in reverse, but Spirit said reverse them today because some people that's watching need to see this. So we got the reverse Hermit card. So there's an imbalanced chesed. Once again, that imbalanced Maya energy, their celestial blueprint, and the imbalanced Tippereth. So that confidence, that courageousness, that you're supposed to have attached to that chesed, that Jupiter, that sacral chakra energy. See, it's all connected, and this is all connected to Neptune too, because Neptune rules over the external side of the sacral. Sagittarius rules over the external side. It's Neptune that rules the internal side of the sacral chakra. So, having this lineup, that you guys have to work on your confidence and your courageousness of your own divine blueprint. Your divine blueprint doesn't look like everybody else's. Your internal law does not look like anybody else's. Are you going to piss people off? Of course, because there's so many followers out here. There's so many people that want to walk in other people's footprints, and they're going to get mad at you because you're not doing it too, and it invalidates them because they can't figure out why you wouldn't want to walk in this person's footsteps with them. These people paved the way. They did it already. We should just be walking in their footsteps. It makes it so much easier. Why are you being difficult? Why are you being disobedient? Why? And then they'll start reciting a whole bunch of fucking Bible quotes or book quotes and stuff at you to make you feel wrong. It's just a lot of weird shit going on. And so, but you need to work on what your divine law looks like. What does your internal blueprint look like? What are your 10 commandments? And we talked about this heavy last year. If y'all remember, go back to my readings that I did last year around this Capricorn time. I was on y'all ass about creating y'all own internal law. What are y'all classroom rules for people to enter your space? Hey, Enoch. And y'all need to stand, and y'all should have been practicing standing your ground on those this whole year of 9 and giving birth to the reality that you want to experience and take action on in a year of 1. That's what we should have been doing in this year of 9. Standing on our ground, giving birth, through that. What is our internal law? You know what I'm saying? What does it look like? What do I want my reality like? 9 comes into completion, but 9 also brings us to a space of endings too. So y'all had to let go of some things. You gotta let go of some people. You gotta let go of some places y'all go to fellowship and connect with other people because you ain't on that type time. That's just not what you're on. You want to do something different, and that's okay. That's okay. But y'all gotta work on y'all confidence with that. If you're willing to fold every time somebody yell loud enough at you, you're going to fail every time, I'm telling you. In the end, partnership will be coming. Because like I said, it's not about being isolated. It's not about being in this unhealthy level of solitude. Yes, at some point, you're going to have to go into the cocoon by yourself. Woo-wop. But once you come out of the cocoon, you're going to see all the other butterflies with you. You know what I'm saying? Butterflies going to be over there on the same flowers, living their best life together. You know what I'm saying? And as a butterfly, you could still fly by yourself, but you still gonna see some other butterflies. You know what I'm saying? So I don't want to tell y'all what to do. I would say it is advised not to get caught up in the solitude part of that, but it is a part of the process, okay? It is a stage, it is a phase. It does not have to be permanent unless that's something that you want to manifest in your space. And then keep it real with yourself. This is something I want to give birth to in my space. In these last, 13 days of December, I want to stand grounded in the fact that I want to be alone. All right, say that then. What for some of y'all, that's not really what y'all want. But y'all say y'all want that shit because y'all over there trying to appease people. Y'all over there draining y'all sacral chakra, and oh, the book over here says this and that book over there says this, and this leader in fucking 1700 something said this, and this leader in 1800 something said that, and you allowing all these motherfuckers that don't give two shits about you to control your sacral chakra and what it is that you want to do for you. Because you don't have the confidence to stand on your own one and twos and say, this is the law I want to create for me, and this is mine, and this is my reality, and this is what I want to do. You gotta be ready for that back. You know what I'm saying? You guys over here stressing yourselves out, not taking action on that Wands card, not creating, stressing yourselves out, not on your throne. You letting some person that never met you before sit on your throne and tell you what to do on your throne. Please stop it. That's what I got for y'all today. Again, I will be back on Friday so we can go over the new moon to new moon planetary forecast. All right. So I'll see you guys Friday evening, and then I will see you guys again on Saturday evening because I would like to go through the Neteroos with you as far as cleansing and then making space to manifest. I will show you how to use the Netters and the Sephiroths to cleanse and manifest. All right. It's kind of hard to go through the details without giving you guys a direct class right now. I don't feel like it. My throat's starting to get dry. Yeah. And then it will be it's a nice starter to the energy awareness courses that I do provide. Now, when you guys do come to an actual one-on-one session with me, that information will be way more personalized to where now we're going to get into your personal placements and how those placements more specifically affect your ability to cleanse and manifest through your personal Neteroos and Sephiroth. So this class will be a nice beginner joint for you guys to see all of that. But if you want to just jump the ship and hit me up and say, hey, I need an energy awareness session now, this, that, and the third, I'll be more than glad to assist you guys. That's what I love to do. That's what I'm passionate about. You guys can book me for your next event. You can book me for your next one-on-one session. You know what I'm saying? You just book me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But I'm going to let y'all go, and I will see y'all on Friday. You guys can always join me on Facebook for my shenanigans while I sit here and play with my sacral chakra and make people mad. Well, I'll talk to y'all later. Peace, y'all on YouTube.